Hello everyone, how are you? Happy day. It's Wednesday. Oh my God, you guys, I really need help clearly with days of the week. Swear to God, that's like, do you see how easily I get messed up? Oh well. Anyway, so for those of you who have never been here, my name is Colleen Gallagher and I'm super passionate about empowering people to fall in love. I'm just kidding. I have no idea why I'm in such a hyper mood. Anyway, I'm really passionate about honestly guiding people to understand why it is they're here on this planet and to live just an incredible life, because I believe you absolutely are worthy and deserving of it. And this became a passion of mine because I had cancer at age 14. And from then I really did just honestly see a lot of people that died that didn't really live. And it really inspired me to be like, holy shit, when I get that old, when I die, I'm not gonna fucking say I didn't do everything that I could to live incredibly on this world. And so this one's kind of an interesting live. So I'm doing a 31-day live series in October of 2020 because there's a launch of my third book, An Uncompromised Life. And this book is it is about a story of my own life where I compromised my character for love because I had codependency wounds where I was acting out of way to compromise who I was, my desires, my needs, in order to receive love from a man who was never going to be available to give me love because he suffers from narcissism. So this created a really interesting dynamic, which then allowed me to have an unplanned pregnancy. And then from that space, I let the child go, but the name Ella came to me through 3 different means. And I know that even when I was younger, I always knew I was going to adopt. As soon as I got diagnosed with cancer, they told me it'd be hard for me to get pregnant. I knew that I always wanted to adopt a child. And so now I know I'm adopting my daughter. I know the soul of my daughter. I saw the soul of my daughter leave me, and it's a really incredible story. So for any of you who are suffering from heartbreak, who are going through pain, this is definitely a book for you, and this is definitely a series for you. So today what I want to talk about, because I'm talking about every day a way that I broke my heart, or a way that my heart has broken, and then a way that I turned it into a love story. So today is all about being called crazy. So since I was a little girl, I can remember, I would be at sports teams even, or I would be doing just doing anything, and people would call me crazy. I literally remember that even I was on a volleyball team one time, and there was this woman who actually, it's quite ironic she did this because it really wasn't like her, but she didn't want me on the warm-up team she was on because I was crazy. And I feel like a lot of us, especially women, we get as women, the crazy word is thrown out massively. And I feel like this took me a really long time to understand that the crazy word is actually a really empowering word. And as women, I feel like we always are I don't want to text that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to ask for that. I don't want to do that because I don't want to seem crazy. And if I do that, I may sound crazy. So I'm going to run away from ever doing anything in God's name to sound crazy. And so let me know if any of you, when you're watching this, you can relate, because I feel like on the replay when you're watching, there should be many of you that can relate. This is not just me, I know that. And so when that happens, when we start compounding, not taking actions, whether that's showing up on social media to share an inspirational quote, whether it's asking the guy that we're dating or even just a friend that we're hanging out with to go to a certain restaurant that we want to go, to send a silly text message, to just be yourself. Anything that's truly being yourself, but you don't want to do it because you don't want to seem crazy. This thing is breaking your heart. This thing is causing a lot of dysfunction in your life. And so I want to share some perspective on how I've changed this. So I remember actually I was in Hawaii. It would have been 2018 or 2019. 2016 or 2018. So anyway, I was in Hawaii and there was this guy and we were sitting there and we were talking to me and he was like, I really want to take you to dinner. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I was like, I just have to let you know though, I'm known to be a little crazy. And he was like, okay, mostly women don't want to be known as crazy. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not like most women. And I was like, and honestly, I'd rather be crazy than boring. He was like, all right, dinner it is. And it was so empowering. I will never forget that moment with that guy. And we did a walk after dinner, and I'll never forget that moment in my life. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you is because it was the first time in my life where I stopped rejecting parts of myself, what society may deem as crazy. And the moment I authentically expressed that to this guy, and he was like, actually, you're right. Being bored would be horrific. Crazy is probably a little bit better. And so when I started to understanding this, that the word crazy isn't so bad, and that I'm not going to actually not be who I am, or not send a text message, or not be silly just because it may be deemed crazy. And so obviously something like stalking, I'm not talking about. That's psychotic. That's insane. Stalking, like something that's unhealthy, like that's not normal. What I'm talking about is people just being silly. Women being in a space of like having a lot of energy, or having a lot of emotions, or having mood swings, or whatever. It's something that can be funny. And even guys can be known as crazy, or controlling is the word for guys. Like, you're controlling, you're trying to like take over my space, like stop doing that. And guys are like simply just asking a question because it's on their heart or mind. And women have had a really, really amazing way of being like, you're controlling, you're acting crazy, if it has anything to do with letting a woman not be free. Whereas women, when it's like asking questions, being high energy, high intensity, that's known as crazy. And so there's a duality in both men and women. And anytime as a man or woman, with women, it's when we don't express ourselves because we will be deemed crazy. And men, it's when you don't ask something, or you like hinder yourself inward because you don't want to be deemed as controlling. Both of those are breaking your heart. Both of those are allowing you to not really move in the space that you want to go. And so when you have questions watching this, please let me know. But one thing that I've really done as a person, if I've been around people and I feel like that I might be being judged, or someone might be saying like, Colleen, that's a little bit out there, or like your magical creature oracle cards, like, what do you do? I don't really get energy. Like, that seems a bit out there. It seems a bit woo. I go, okay, like, thanks for sharing. Maybe you could call me wild, but I'm definitely not crazy. And I've had both. Like I said, the one in Hawaii where it was really empowering, I just like said it and I did it. And I was like, that's not so bad to be called crazy. Like, it's not so bad because it was like this authentic, empowering, like, it's better than being boring. But when people just randomly do it, I'm always like, well, it's wild. And I always say, well, if I am crazy, would you rather be with someone around you that's boring? And as soon as you start to say that, and I think men, if you're asking a woman about something because you care, the biggest thing that you can start sharing, if you're asking something, she goes, you're being crazy, you're being controlling, best line is to then say, it's because I deeply care about you. It's because I really care about you is why I'm asking. I'm not trying to be controlling. I'm not trying to like ruin your space. I really, truly, deeply care about you. And from the space of controlling and crazy on the spectrum of, it's really masculine, feminine, but I'm putting male, female here. When you start to change your language around this and change and allow yourself to not change your behavior based on how you may be perceived, a lot will start shifting for you. And so what I want to offer you is, for many of you who have known me, been on here, for men, I offer you care deeper, ask more questions. Obviously, there's a difference between controlling, like, you cannot go here at 9 p.m. You cannot, like, that's controlling, come on. But what I'm saying more is like, hey, where are you going at 9? Or like, hey, how was dinner with your friend? Or, hey, your phone just went off. Did you want me to hand it to you? Not like who's texting you. Like, it's very different things, very different energy. Woman, when you want to say something that's like really funny, like for those of you who know me or close to me, like I love animal noises. I don't know, sometimes I feel like animals just really channel through me. And so like a lot of my friends, I'll like literally send them like zoos, or I'll send them like different animal names or noises sometimes. And it can seem crazy, but it's not. It's just who I am. And the more I've owned that, the more my friends have actually played into it. Like, they've co-created the space with it. And so how you're breaking your heart, like I said, is when you stop your action from not wanting to seem a certain way. Because when you do that, you're like, I want to say this, I want to do this, but I'm not going to do it because I may be perceived crazy. Or, hey, I want to ask this to someone, or I want to say this, but I don't want to be deemed controlling. Then you are breaking your own heart, and you would be compromising your soul, compromising your character, because you're stopping the momentum of flow that's coming through you because you feel like someone may reject you. And that would be a low density energy instead of a high frequency energy. And so, for when you're watching this, I highly suggest that Stay 21, please share this. When you share it on any of your platforms, tag me. So make sure you tag me, because if I don't tag you, you can't see them. My team will enter you into a drawing at the end of the month, so 9 days, or 10 days, 10 days. You will then be able to win a signed copy of my first book, Live Your Truth, a signed copy of my third book, An Uncompromised Life, my Oracle deck. The first person we draw will get 2 one-on-one calls with me for free, and the second and third person gets 1 one-on-one call with me for free. Also, if you're listening to this and you're like, Colleen, I feel like you're right. I feel like I don't do things because there's voices inside my head going, I don't want to seem controlling. I don't want to seem crazy. I highly, highly, highly suggest you message me and say one-on-one so that we can book a consultation. My consultations are usually $333, and then that goes to whatever program I recommend. Just this month, it's $50. So no matter what, you get 15 minutes with me for $50, and then that goes into whatever program that we feel will be best for you. The other thing is, if you don't want to do one-on-one with me yet, but this is resonating with you, what I'm sharing, then I highly recommend you pre-order my third book, An Uncompromised Life. We just ordered the velvet. It's like literally velvet envelopes with a mold. It's fucking incredible. We're doing a PR box for you when you get it. We have a handwritten note that'll do a message for you specifically. I'm very intuitive, so it'll be exactly what you need to hear. The book, and then you also get a crystal from the Crystella crystal line. It's rose quartz, so it's beautiful. And so I highly, highly recommend message me Uncompromised if this conversation is resonating with you, so you can start to own either that you're crazy, and for men, own that you're not controlling. You simply just deeply care about other people, and it's okay for that to happen. And so message me Uncompromised for that book, one-on-one, and then remember to share this. And I'm just going to look at this. Lori, I hope this makes sense. Josh, I'm here with my friend. He just went through what you're talking about. Well, I'm so happy your friend was watching this then, and that he's able to get clarity on this. And Josh, I hope I get to speak with you soon one-on-one. And if your friend wanted to speak one-on-one, you can send him the same link, or your friend can follow me and reach out to me separately. But if this was something he just went through, I highly recommend getting my book, An Uncompromised Life, because that's a deep pattern that we have. And the only way to really break our patterns is when we put ourselves in new environments, put ourselves around new people, allow ourselves to receive new thought patterns, and for people to see how we're speaking so we can interrupt the language that's happening and allow you to transition and focus in another direction. And usually, actually, I know that cannot really happen alone. In my life, the reason that my life has switched around so quickly in the last two years after leaving corporate, and I've traveled to 40 countries, I've helped multiple clients be able to fall in love. I've helped incredible people do amazing things, is because I've put myself in new environments. I've invested in mentors. I've invested in listening into new ways of thinking. And so I highly recommend, Josh, I hope I get to talk to you, because I know together we can really move through this things that you're going through. And your friend, please reach out to me. I think the book would be perfect for him to order. And so when you're watching this, I just want to remind you that you are so close for your pain to be passing. You are so close for your heartbreak being done, and you are absolutely worthy and deserving to fall madly in love in this beautiful world that we get to live in.